feel sorry for the dog that's been lost, but you don't feel guilty when you look.
And that was President Bashar Al-Assad having an interview with our reporters. So, there is a pretty unique leader. And Bashar al-Assad is, as you all know, the leader of Syria during the Civil War. And he has been doing a lot to alienate his own countrymen. It's something devastating to hear on the news that he kills his own children. His troops kills the children of Syria. And it all started with demonstrations, peaceable protests that Bashar al-Assad responded to with lethal force. That makes for the kind of leader that a lot of us would not want to associate with. And you could say that there's some narcissism in there about him. Earlier in the interview, he said as long as he has support, he's staying, and he would step down if everyone asked him to. But even though he has some support, it is very much high time for him to step down. He does not listen to the needs of his people like he should. Instead of trying to help the people and their needs, he just tries to put down a rebellion in an incredibly cruel way. I mean, he is the prime example of how not to lead a country. Other nations in the Arab region, in the Middle East, and North Africa listened to their people and made concessions. Others didn't, like Libya. Of course, though, it was responded to by NATO force because it happened to have attacked NATO assets before in its state-sponsored terrorism activities. But the same couldn't exactly be said about Syria, so there's not been NATO action just yet. The war has been going on since 2011. It's incredibly protracted, and Bashar al-Assad may be losing his grip with his people even more, as if he hasn't lost enough of a grip already. He made the wrong choices. He should not have done the opposite of what a good leader would do, and that is listening to the people and offering suggestions about how they would like their situations improved. He wanted things more for himself than for others. He was incredibly selfish. And that is why there's still going to be a civil war, and major nations are heavily considering intervening in order to put his regime out of power. Obama has a red line, but he's not quite firm on it. It keeps moving for some reason or another thanks to influences in Russia and elsewhere. But very recently, Israel started airstrikes, and it had America's blessing first. So if you remember how to be a leader, if you want to remember how to be a leader, remember that Bashar al-Assad is one of the best examples of how not to be a leader. He thought he'd end the protests and move on with his life and his country by responding with lethal force. That may have happened many years ago, before social media, but thanks to the spread of social media and all those graphic pictures that we all get to see, he only fanned the flames. Remember to learn from his lessons and never lead like Bashar Al-Assad. Thank you very much. This was a current event presentation for Senior Seminar of Leadership.